meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence. All board members are present. Aaron Lee is absent. And do you want to read our mission vision statement?
Sure. The mission of East Washington School Corporation is students are empowered and encouraged to reach their personal best. The vision of East Washington School Corporation is achieve excellence.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to move to the school corporation aims and reports with our superintendent report with Mrs. Jones.
It's actually been really quiet. No kids. I mean, we did start summer school with CAST, and that's going on. That'll finish up here next week, and we have started the meals, and parents can pick those up on Fridays. So that's gone pretty well, I would say. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Hopkins? And finishing up the technology upgrades, which it's close now. We're very, very close, I think. So, and some of it has been some things that we've changed along the way and realized, oh, we want to add a camera here. So that slowed some processes and some change orders, but we are still very, very close to finishing that. So that's going to be done. Temple did start work on the space outside of the greenhouse, and they've ordered the cabinets. Jason and I met last week, I think, or maybe early this, I guess it was last week, and we picked out a countertop for the cabinets that will go in around for the kitchen area, and he's got the walls framed, and hardware's ordered, the stainless steel is ordered, so it's coming along. It looks freshened up in there, and he's done a really nice job, and I'm excited to see the final project, but they've done a good job. So that's going. Custodians are working hard. I've been in the buildings. They're working to get the buildings ready. They've started moving the sign. I don't know if when you came in, you saw.
I did see that.
The electric has been moved, and they were trying to move the concrete all in one piece so that we didn't have to re-pour concrete. They started that earlier in the week, and so that'll be out of the vision. I really think we're going to have to cut that one tree.
Big tree. It's right. Yes, right.
It's just, even moving the sign, it's still, and I hate it because it's a beautiful tree, but it's just,
It's
probably.
blocking more really than I thought the sign did. But there's nothing wrong with moving both.
So Aaron is going to check on that and just kind of get us a price of what would cost to have that moved, or if Duke will do it for us. So anyways, that's going on. Then Dawn, we had worked, actually this is something Amber and I had talked about, is some things at the middle school for our kids. And they are going to put in a gaga pit, and it's Dave Churchman, his playground. He located a really nice one. I didn't want to just build a structure. It's right out in front of our buildings, and so he has donated the actual pit, but then we're working with them. It's going to cost us a little bit to put the turf down underneath of it so we can maintain it, keep it a nice space. So we are getting that for our middle schoolers, and that should be here in the next couple of weeks. They brought the rock here this week. So those are all things going on. Met with the lady that I was working on with the first federal grant. We submitted that. We are working on the COPS grant. I told you all last month that the one that our score was fairly good. I'm real confident. I met with the guy later in the week last week and looked at where we could improve our score. Obviously we don't need cameras and door access, but we still need radios, additional radios. We need intercom system updates, and so if we get that this year, those are the things that we will do. So we will submit that in August. I think the due date's August, so that's going. He's been working on our float, and we've got volunteers to walk in the parade. We finished the fair, have volunteers to work the fair, and moving right into the next one. So I think that's it.
All right. Thank you. All right, at this time, we'll open for public comments. Next, we have our consent items. Do I have a motion approve our consent items. And a second?
I'll second that.
All right, and then all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, personnel, there are the rest of that second page, and then there's also some additional. But do we have a motion to approve the employment of staff and personnel as presented? Okay, and a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I would just like to encourage our athletic directors to take the young coaches and maybe the lay coaches to hook them up with a mentor or give them a little more guidance since a lot of them aren't in a classroom. I know we do that for teachers, young teachers, we hook them up with somebody, and so I would encourage our athletic directors to also look at our lay coaches and our young coaches and maybe doing some mentoring with them. Maybe not in the sport, but like just communication, just some things outside of knowing their sport, which I feel like they do maybe, but maybe just some
Well, and
all around.
I've heard some complaints about some of the lay coaches with communication with parents. I've heard that from a couple different people last year and some this year already. So I
just
agree.
encourage the athletic directors to look at that.
I agree.
I will pass that along.
And they're not always used to dealing with kids
Yes.
necessarily
Yeah.
because they're not in the classroom, so you're
Yeah.
right, yep. Any additional comments? Right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. The approval of the superintendent contract. It is recommended the board approve the employment contract for the school years 26-27 through 28-29 between the governing body and the superintendent as advertised. Do I have a motion to approve the contract?
I'll make that motion.
All right, and a second.
I'll second that.
And any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Extension of additions of administrative contracts. So those are as presented there. That includes Greg Hawkins, our assistant superintendent, Darren Ferris, high school principal, Andrew Llewellyn, high school assistant principal, Don Burton, middle school dean of students, Stacy Richardson, elementary school principal, Kayla Moore, elementary school principal, and Amanda Hurst, director of student services. And those are all extended through June 30th, 2027. And Amanda's was actually just created, so hers is through June 30th, 2027 as well. Do I have a recommendation to approve those contract extensions?
I'll make that motion.
All right, and a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Approval of virtual learning option for students in grades 7 through 12 for the 26-27 school year. The administration recommends establishing the East Washington School Corporation virtual learning option for students in grades 7 through 12, beginning with the 26-27 school year. The proposed program is designed to provide an alternative educational setting for students who can successfully meet academic and attendance expectations in a virtual environment while maintaining the high standards of East Washington School Corporation. Attached for the board consideration are the virtual learning program guidelines and eligibility requirements, as well as the student application for participation. These documents outline enrollment criteria, program expectations, academic accountability measures, enrollment limitations, and procedures for continued participation in this program. Do I have a motion to approve the virtual learning option?
I'll make a motion.
And second?
I'll second it.
All right, and then any discussion? I believe Rebecca had some
Yeah, I have
comments.
a few things.
Yeah.
One, this is something we've looked at probably for an entire year, and we are being very selective and very small in our initial rollout. And if you saw on the guidelines, we're anticipating 20 students. These are different from our kids. You know, when a kid gets expelled for discipline measures, we have offered that an alternative setting for, but we've not had a traditional online program since COVID. But the reality is, every school around is doing it, and if we don't, we're going to lose students. And I will tell you, case in point, I guess it was Monday, we had a phone call here. Mom wanted records for a child. She was gonna enroll her in online school, and Donna pulled the students' records. Student was passing all of her subjects, was a freshman, had 18 credits, but doesn't like traditional kind of school. And so, and not every kid is looking at high school as for the same kind of experience. So when Mom said she had no issues with our school, we just didn't have it. And Donna said, well, right now we don't, but call us back on Wednesday. There is something going to the board. And she is the right kind of candidate. It is not for kids that are missing school. It is not designed for kids that are, they're in a discipline problem, or they're not doing their schoolwork, because if they're not successful with someone right here in front of you, they're probably not going to be successful in an online. So we have like very, you saw the application. There's an application process, and they will apply. They will have a teacher that checks in on them. It will be Mr. Nail this year. When we're looking at as the program grows, then we may add more teachers. But each teacher would have 15 to 20 kids that they would check on once a week, whether that's by email or a phone call. Hey, how's it going? That they'll work independently, but they'll have that support. Or if they need support, I'm stuck on something. Well, that teacher may not have the knowledge, that may not be their content area, but they can put them in contact with the teacher here that we can get that. If they are not successful, Darren and I talked about this, we cannot have kids jumping in and out of online into classes. So we can pull them back at the end of a quarter if they're not being successful, but they would come back and they would be in the virtual program until the end of the semester. So while they might have to do it here, they would still be doing that online work. And then if it's determined at the semester break, then it's easy to create a schedule. But for credits, it's really hard and it's not something we're looking at for elementary and really even 5th or 6th. It's just 7 through 12. Yeah,
I think it's a great opportunity for our school.
Yeah.
So it will be completely asynchronous instruction?
It will, yes. Yeah. Any additional comments?
I'm excited about that.
All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approval of transfer student information for the 26-27 school year. Pursuant to Board Policy 5111, by June 30th, the board will establish the number of transfer students that can be accepted in each building and grade level. The board will establish a date by which requests to enroll a transfer student must be submitted to the superintendent. The date by which transfer requests must be received for the 26-27 school year is October 1st. This corporation will accept up to 50 transfer students per grade level. If additional are received, the board may elect to reevaluate this number. It is recommended we approve the transfer student information for the 26-27 school year. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All right, some discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Approval of grants from the Washington County Community Foundation, the Evelyn Gray Historical Society, $1,150. The Washington County Community Foundation for Baseball and Football, $725. The Washington County Substance Abuse Council, $1,122.74 for high school drug testing. And Duke Energy, $1,000 for elementary school Ready to Shine project. Do I have a motion to approve those grants as presented?
Make that motion.
All right, and a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Approval of donations. From the East Washington PTO, $300 for the employee spotlight gift baskets. Dean Coleman, Indiana Farm Bureau, $100 for the employee spotlight gift baskets. Washington County Farm Bureau, $247.85. Transportation costs for KG. Oh, thank you. For the high school, Casey's General Store, $3.20, a loyalty donation. For the high school, Casey's General Store, $300 for boys golf. For the high school, First Harrison Bank, $300 boys golf. And for the high school, Prosser, $2,500 for fertilizer controller for the ag.
So that last one is an actual piece of an equipment, and that was what Dr. Lemay from Prosser that the value was. So it
Okay.
was not a cash donation, it was actual controller, but Todd was really excited to get it, and they've done away with their program at Prosser, so he thought of us. It was nice,
Wow.
nice partnership.
That's great.
It is recommended that we approve the donations as presented. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I'll make that motion.
And second,
Second.
any discussion? All those in favor? Approval of obsolete and surplus items, those as presented to us. It's recommended the board approve those items for the obsolete surplus items as presented. Do I have a motion to approve those?
I'll make the motion.
And a second?
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion?
Will any of those items be auctioned off like before?
Well, possibly the iPads, we have to look at what the cost is, what we can get if we sell them back to a tech company, and then we can look at that if we wanna offer that locally. I can tell you the audio meter is 41 years old,
Yeah.
so, no, that's probably going in the garbage.
You can have it, you can carry it. You can have it.
And actually, the co-op, they take care of all of those for all of the other districts. And they wanted to purchase a new one that said, but this one is still actually listed in our inventory. So, they said, and it's 41 years old. So the value on that, I would say, is minimal.
Out of date.
And as far as the other things, usually when we're getting rid of these teacher desks and student chairs, the ones we're getting rid of are broken. We really wouldn't wanna.
Okay, all right, all those in favor? Aye. Approval of the second reading of the Neola policy updates, policies volume 38, number 2. It is recommended that the board approve the second reading of the Neola policy updates. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make that motion.
All right, and a second.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. We don't have any as needed today, correct? All right, board member comments, committee reports. All right, adjournment. The next school board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, July 28th, 2026 at 5 p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.